How to Rebuild the Broken Trust. This is the JMA Podcast, episode 16. This is Joyfully Married After with Heath and Tracy. I'm Heath.
And I'm Tracy.
We're joyfully married after how many years, baby?
26.
26 years, 4 kids, corporate jobs, entrepreneurs, and this podcast is our view on life through our lens.
Let's go.
The trust has been broken, baby. We got to fix it.
Oh, no.
In any relationship, trust is one of the keys. Would you agree, baby?
Most definitely. It's a key component.
Yes, yes. And what I've found over the years is that the most critical component that threatens the trust is fear.
Fear.
Yeah.
We always talk about this, guys.
Yeah.
Fear is your enemy.
Yep. You don't want it. You don't want to deal with it. You don't want to have it in your life. And you know, it was really interesting that we saw an example of this with our son some weeks back.
Hilarious. It's funny now. It wasn't funny at the time.
Yeah. I mean, our son is such a great kid. The oldest one we're talking about, all of our kids are great. Absolutely. Fantastic children. We've done an outstanding job, if we do say so ourselves. Patting myself on the back right here.
Bravo. Bravo.
Great job, Tracy. Great job.
It's not. Our work is not done yet.
Oh, my gosh. It's an ongoing, what the dude said in Jerry Maguire. It is a pride-swallowing siege that I will never be able to fully explain to you.
How do you remember all of that? How do you remember this stuff? You're funny, baby.
Part elephant, I guess.
I guess.
So it was really interesting that we had this trust issue with our son recently, which we've never had to deal with in all of his 17 years.
Okay, y'all ready?
So you want to tell the story?
So William comes into the kitchen. He's like, oh, I'm going to go downstairs and do some studying. This is before my mom moved in.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool. You know, the desks were set up downstairs. It's nice and quiet. I get it. I get why you want to go study in the basement.
Right.
So about maybe an hour later,
Maybe not even.
I wanted to share something with him. I had a story or something.
No, I was sharing the video.
Oh, yeah. There's a video. Go ahead, baby.
No, it was a video that was doing homecoming, and so there
Yeah.
were some things. There was a video on the yard at Howard University, our alma mater, HU.
You know?
There was a video on the yard where somebody was doing like the electric slide, or
Oh, yeah.
I don't even know it was. At
It was just
Howard.
like
It might have been somewhere else.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But it was really cool.
It was really cool. So I was trying to show it to William one day, and I couldn't find it in Facebook because, Facebook is tricky to search things.
Well, we found it.
And so it came up in my feed again that day. And so I was like, we need to go find William so I can show it to him.
I said, oh, he's in the basement studying.
I was like, William. So I go downstairs, and all the lights are on.
Yep.
All the television is on.
Yep.
I see William's house shoes,
Oh, uh-oh. Because he wears his house shoes in the house.
but no William.
Oh, no. So he comes back upstairs.
So I'm thinking to myself,
Well, my wife just said he was in the basement.
Where is William? I know the rapture didn't just happen.
Well, that's what he said when he came upstairs.
I was like, yo, I know my spiritual game is in order and on time. So I know I didn't miss the rapture. So that means that William is gone.
So we checked upstairs. We checked different places.
All over the house.
No William.
Where's William? And so
I went to my trusty family map.
Tracy went all James Bond on him.
Sure did. Sure did. I'm a mama. I know how to do these things.
Tracy went James Bond on William and did the old mapping on the phone, the AT&T. Let me see. Let me find the GPS locator on William's phone.
Located in Prestonwood Country Club.
Yes.
We do not live there.
So we located William somewhere other than our house.
It was very interesting. It was like this weird moment
Yeah.
of, oh my God, the kid that I trust more than all my other kids.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that, just for real. He's a kid that does everything when you want it done in a timely manner. You don't have to ask again. Always honest, always truthful. I guess not so much anymore. But that was when I realized that moment when it came up where he was. it was a shocking moment for me.
Mhm.
It was all my trust was gone.
Mhm.
I immediately went to, well, is this the first time this
Mhm.
happened?
Yep. Yep.
Oh my God, what is he doing?
Right. What else has he done?
What else has he done? All this stuff goes through your head, so the trust is gone.
Right. And
And of course,
so-
we're talking about trust in relationships.
Exactly.
We're just using this as a little funny story to keep it a little bit lighter.
Yeah, so this is the analogy of the trust being broken, right? And so when you get to the heart of the matter, I was taught that whenever there's a problem, then you go to the root of the problem, right?
Right.
And so when you go to the root of what was going on with William that night, it was a fear. It was a fear issue, and what he was fearful of was that his buddy was going to go and hang out and have something to eat and whatever it was.
They went to get ice cream or
And-
smoothies or something.
And he was going to miss out by not going. So essentially, he did something that was very out of character because of fear.
So the first lesson is to be open to keep the trust.
Yes. Yes. So,
The person who was lied to gets a pass
mhm.
to ask any questions, check your phone, check whatever, anytime.
Yeah. So the thing with that is that if you want to draw this to a relationship analogy, right? And so if someone is breaking the trust in the relationship,
Or has
you're-
broken it.
You're in a marriage relationship, you're in a long-term serious commitment, and someone strays or someone does something that is not in keeping with what the commitment is, what the covenant is. That person has to then understand what needs to happen to get the other person back to a good place. So what happens is when you break the trust, then you have to be open. You have to be amenable to getting that person back to where they are in a good place, in a good headspace, right? So if it's your cell phone, somebody being able to go through your phone, if my wife wants to go through my cell phone right now, she
Right
can
now.
look at anything and everything in there. I am completely calm and confident. Is no issues.
Know the passcode and everything.
Right. And so that's one example of where you have to be. If you're the one who's broken the trust and you are trying to pull that back, you have to be completely transparent and open, amenable, and you have to be in an understanding mode that they need to do whatever they need to do. They need to ask whatever questions they need to ask. They need to have access to whatever it is that they need access to so that they are good.
And you don't need to get in your feelings about it.
Because you already messed up. So if you messed up, then you have to get it back.
That's if you want it back. If you all have decided that, okay, we need to fix this broken trust issue, this is one way.
Exactly right.
This is definitely one way. Let them ask any questions. They have a pass. You basically gave them a pass to ask whatever they want, know where you are, everything. Because we've got to build the trust back up, and that takes time.
So you have to be open to that. The second point we want to make here is that you have to discuss the items that bother you, right? That you're concerned with. So you have to bring up why you're suspicious. So if it was a trust thing, if it was an affair type of situation, whatever it was, you have to be able to talk through that, discuss the items that are bothering you, bring up what those are so that you can alleviate the fear of that happening again. So that's back to what we were just saying just now.
Yeah, early in our marriage, I used to buy stuff without Heath knowing. And I'd be so terrified of the UPS man and what time the UPS man was going to come to the door. You would have thought I was having an affair with the UPS man because I was buying stuff. I think it was online. I guess it was online. I'm not sure. I was always getting stuff shipped to the house. It was very
It
weird.
was a long time ago, baby.
It was, and it's foggy. But it was a weird way of broken trust. It was
Right.
spending money that he didn't know I was spending, and the stuff would just show up for the baby and in the house and, whatever. So it got to a point where it was like I had to ask.
Mhm.
I had to ask to spend money
Mhm.
because it just wasn't cool. It
Right.
just was. It was broken trust. Another broken trust issue in our relationship is we have had an affair in our relationship.
Yep.
So at that point, we had to make a decision. How are we going to fix this?
Right.
This is a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
And I say we because it's not important
Yeah.
who did it.
It happens to the relationship.
It happens to the relationship.
Right.
So in that, Phones are now accessible all the way around.
Yep.
Laptops are all accessible all the way around.
Absolutely.
Where you going? Who you going to see? It's a question that gets asked all the way around.
And it's no problem.
And there's no problem with it
Right.
whatsoever.
Because you have to be that way if you're going to rebuild the trust.
You have to.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it.
Yeah.
You can't say, I don't want to talk about it. You cannot do that.
Not allowed. So the third point here is talking through the issues, even if they're making you uncomfortable, or even if you're afraid to really discuss and dive deep into it, because at the end of the day, you're going to be glad you did.
Yeah, and the important thing with that is to do it with no emotions involved. And I know that's a weird thing to say. You don't want emotions involved. But when you're emotional, you're irrational. So you have to do it while you're running errands.
Yeah.
Do it when you're in a public restaurant eating a burrito. Do it while you're cooking or washing the dishes. Have the discussion then. Ask your questions then. Make sure you're in a private space so that no one else is listening. Sit down with a glass of wine. Talk about it over dinner. Be very, very rational about it. It's not about throwing anything into the other person's face. It's just a reminder of, hey, what happened here? This is a breakdown in communication. This is a breakdown in trust. The trust is gone. I need you to know that.
Right.
So what did I do to make you feel like you had to do that? And then why did you feel like you had to do that and not say anything to me? Or why did you have the affair? Why did you leave the house and not tell me? Why did you spend money you know we didn't have and not tell me without asking? You have to get to the root of the issue.
Correct.
And the only way to get to the root of the issue is to have a discussion. And you can do this with a counselor. And I recommend it with a counselor, especially if it's an affair situation. We had a counselor. But I also think you should continue that conversation, just the two of you.
Yep.
Because a counselor is going to mediate. A counselor is going to give you questions. You need to get in your head and get those questions out of your head.
Yeah. So that actually dovetailed into the next point, baby, was sometimes you have to get help outside of the relationship, right? So it may need to be a counselor, may need to be some type of coach, some type of professional to walk you through whatever's happening, whatever is necessary to get you back to the place and the space that you want to be in, right? It takes time.
Yeah,
it takes
it does.
work. You have to go at it. You have to work through it. You have to put in the work that's gonna result in what you're looking for.
Yeah. When we had our affair, we went to seek help. We sought counseling.
We did.
He didn't like us, and we didn't like him. And he probably doesn't think we're together to this day. Ha ha, funny.
Oh,
But the important issue is that we needed him. We
Mm-hmm.
needed to hear the things he had to say, his recommendations we still use today. You need that. Don't feel like you're in your relationship alone. You are not.
Yep.
There are people out here to help.
Yep.
You can, read books. There are many books out here. I recommend His Needs, Her Needs.
Yep.
There are a lot of things out here that you can really, really hone in on what the issues are, why you're going through, why are you having to deal with this in the first place, and how to get through it.
Absolutely.
So always get help. Don't try to get through it alone. It's not going to work.
Yep.
It's not going to work. You need help.
And one of the last points I wanted to make about this baby was something that we also saw in William's behavior when he had the issue was that he was hiding from us, right? He didn't come right back into the house.
Non-confrontational.
And he didn't own up to it. He didn't say, this is what
No,
happened.
he
This is what it
didn't.
was. He was hiding. He didn't want to deal with the conversation. He didn't want to go through the issues. And so my final point here is that when you have these broken trust scenarios in your relationships, you got to meet it head on.
Meet the storm head on.
You never hide from the challenges that you're having. You've already gone down the wrong road. So what you want to do is just stop. If you were the one who made the wrong, you admit that you were wrong and work through it. You can do it. You can push through.
Yeah, it's not easy. It's probably one of the most difficult things you'll do.
But it's not a death sentence.
But it's not a death sentence, and it's a beginning.
Yes.
And that's what you have to think of. You have to think of, okay, this moment of confession, this moment of just resolving to why this happened, and this is a beginning. It's not an end.
Sure.
This is a new beginning. Maybe not the kind of beginning I want, but this is a new beginning, and I need to push through this. I need to get rid of my fear. Here we go again. I need to get rid of my fear of whatever is going to happen next and understand that I'm going to win this trust back, that I need to step into this new beginning. And this new beginning is first admitting it, confronting the issue with it, and understanding that the other person is going to need time.
Admit you're wrong. Work through it. You can do it. Push through it. Thanks again for listening today, folks. If you liked any of what you heard, please like, comment, and subscribe to our podcast. Tell a friend, too. And you can engage us at heathentracy.com for all the goings on in our world. Queen Tracy, speak to the people.
Bye, loves.